Welcome to this lecture. Today we are going to deal with these topics little quickly but in detailed approach. My name is Gunjan Subedi and as always I'll be guiding you in this topic with practical explanation and examples when necessary. Before starting, let me kindly remind you to subscribe to my Lean University, which is my initiative to deliver free and quality professional education to your screen. Inventory is the raw material, work in progress, and the finished good stock that is held for the various regions. So it basically involves three things: either raw materials or those materials which are not yet ready for the production, work in progress, that means those materials which are in the phase of production but yet not completed, and the finished good that are already completed but not yet sent to the market. So finished good, work in progress or WIP, and the raw materials are all the forms of the inventory. And holding too much of inventory is the waste. So in this lecture we are studying about the waste of inventory. Now let us see what are the costs of carrying unnecessary or used inventories. First of all, there are costs of administration of keeping track of the inventory. That means when you hold unnecessary or used inventory, you should keep a proper track or record of each of the inventories, because their qualities may degrade, or you may forget that the items or the produce are already in the phase of being expired. So you have to keep the track of inventories so that your inventories do not get expired or they do not get damaged by any means. So there is the administration cost. The second is there is the cost of damage and losses that occurs during transportation and storage. Of course, if you keep the inventories for a long period of time, they may be affected by the environmental factors such as heat or cold or moisture or rain, etc. And also rodents that may destroy them, and various other factors such as transportation that may damage the items kept in the inventory. The third cost of carrying unnecessary or used inventory is the cost accrued in transportation and movement of this inventory. So when you want to hold a large number of inventories, you have to manage them properly, you have to transport them and move the inventory from one place to another. There will be utilization of the manpower and it takes time. So this will be added up to the cost of the company. So this is also one of the costs of carrying inventory. The fourth cost is the cost of space required to store the inventory. Now this is one of the major form of the cost that is caused by the inventory carrying, and to avoid it, multinational companies like Toyota came up with the lean method such as just in time, where the raw materials or the starting materials reach to the production or the factory line just before they are about to start manufacturing process, so that they do not have to hold the inventories, and also soon after the product is manufactured, the products are manufactured according to the customer's demand. They are not overproduced, so that they are transferred to the holding unit in the fixed quantities that match the customer's demand. So holding of both the starting material and the finished products can be avoided with just-in-time approach, and we'll learn it in depth later in the green belt course. Also, there are the cost of containers to store the inventories. We have to keep the inventories or goods in a safe place so that they can be avoided of the theft. They can be stored in a safe place and they can be protected from the environmental factors. So they need to be stored in proper containers, and that carries a cost. When the inventory is used, the cost of the holding the inventories in containers are also used. It will cause the unnecessary inventory carrying cost. Now there are various ways in which we can reduce the inventory carrying cost or the waste of inventories. The first being the just-in-time, as I had already explained. In just-in-time, the raw materials are brought to the factory or the production floor only just before manufacturing, so less inventories can be held. The second approach is using the Kanban or e-Kanban. Kanban uses boards and cards to demonstrate visually where the product or service is currently running in the process. So whenever you have the new process or you have a new product or new service, they are entered into the leftmost side of the Kanban board, and gradually when the process continues, the cards are shifted towards the done phase. So in this way you can visually know where the process is heading, and with this you can always reduce the work in progress. I want to repeat it again. Work in progress are those items that are already inside any service or production business and some value is added on them, but they are not ready yet to be the finished product. So using Kanban boards, we can reduce the work in progress. We can exactly know whether there is burden in any process. Similarly, the third approach of reducing the waste of inventory carrying is avoiding overproduction waste. Overproduction is the mother of all other forms of the waste. We already learned that reducing overproduction and inventory to minimize transport and movement between and within the works or the working cells helps to reduce the transport waste, and this ultimately helps to reduce the inventory waste also. The fourth approach is making a balanced workflow. Balanced workflow helps in avoiding building of inventory before any process or steps. If you are in any service business, you need to make sure that your process is properly balanced so that there is not overburden in any step of the process and the burden is not too light on the other steps of the process. You have to manage the flow line in such a way that the manpower and machines and the time is evenly distributed. In case of the manufacturing industries, there is one lean concept called Hijanka. Hijanka is also called the production leveling, where you can level or balance the production of items according to the customer's need following a certain pattern. We'll also study about the Hijanka in depth in this course, so you do not have to worry about anything on it. This course will be a complete package. Now let me see your input. Which of the following statement exemplifies the reason for the inventory waste? The first person is saying that if they, that means if the suppliers are ready to give the starting materials at a reduced price, I will buy in tons. That means he wants to carry the inventory if the supplier is ready to provide the inventory at a lower price. So definitely this example is the reason for the inventory waste, because many business such as hospitals or healthcare business or service-based business, hospitality business or the manufacturing business, they carry a lot of inventory if the supplier can provide them the raw materials at certain reduced price. But this price will grow up as you carry a lot of inventory. So ultimately there will be your loss. You should always carry the inventory with the actual demand of the product. The emoji is saying we do not have faith in the suppliers. We will have to produce in bulk. They may increase price of raw materials or delay orders in the future. They here means the suppliers. So here the emoji doesn't have a faith in suppliers. That means they are quite unsure that they will get the right materials in the right time. So they want to buy in the bulk. It is for this reason that I suggest to many industries and business worldwide, I say them to have a proper vendor validation. With proper vendor validation, you are maintaining a good relationship with the vendors and you approve those vendors which can supply you the quality materials in right cost and in right time, so that you do not have to worry over carrying the inventory. This is all about the waste of the inventory. Before ending this lecture, let me remind you to join my Lean University's premium membership and enjoy a total free access for limited time inside my Lean University's online library and get tons of free courses, free books and lecture topics on project management, Lean and Six Sigma, operations and supply chain, productive and preventive maintenance, quality maintenance, data science, industry and sales management, Agile and Scrum, Kaizen or continuous improvement and much more totally free. No strings attached. As we have limited seats, only the early subscribers will be given open access inside the premium membership, and remember, it's totally free. Please subscribe and share the video if you share the common belief that professional education should be accessible to all.